Hi, I'm Matthew Cavalier, and welcome back to my channel, Moments with Matthew. So have you had one of those days where you're just kind of going along and you're thinking to yourself, things are going great, I'm doing awesome, I've got things under control, and then you get a phone call or somebody walks in and they give you feedback, whether it's personal feedback from a friend that you aren't being as good of a friend as you think you are, or that it's your boss and they say, hey, you're not performing like we want you to, or there's a problem that we're seeing and you're like, wait, what? And you're blindsided by it, or you don't think that it's a fair assessment, or whatever the case may be, and you think to yourself, dang, it's like a kick in the stomach. I didn't know this was happening. What is going on? I thought I was doing better than this. And there is that moment where you say to yourself, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm fine. And then you start to reflect, and then you start to go in on yourself, and you're like, oh, I'm a screw up. I didn't do this right, and I can't believe this is happening. And you have to stop yourself, and you have to say, wait a minute. There are three sides to every story: your side, their side, and the truth. So a lot of the times you do have to take that moment afterwards and say, God, that was a kick in the gut. And you have to think to yourself, and you have to be in that moment, and you have to say, all right, it's okay to feel like crap right now because I just got taken to task, or I just got some feedback that I didn't agree with. And that's okay. Take that moment, because you do need that opportunity to feel that emotion, to kind of get yourself into that feeling of, oh, that can't be right. But you kind of have to go through those motions because you do need to feel it. You can't just tamp it down. Feel the emotion and then start your reflection process. Okay, are they 100% wrong? Are there things I can do better on? Are there things that maybe I'm missing that I didn't think? Or are there things that I'm not seeing from their perspective? I'm over here thinking to myself, they don't know what I do. They don't understand all the things that I've done for them. Maybe they're sitting there thinking the same thing about you. So you do have to take that moment to reflect on what they've said. And that reflection can look like just sitting there and talking to yourself. I do that a lot. It could mean journaling. It could mean meditation. It could mean typing out what your thoughts were about the conversation. Whatever is best for you to start the reflection process. But you do need to reflect on what they've said. What they said is not 100% inaccurate. Now, I'm not saying that those out to sabotage you or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is a good faith conversation with someone who gave you feedback to help improve the relationship you have with them, or to say, hey, this is what I've noticed, and I think it would be beneficial for you to improve some of these things. Go down their list of concerns. Don't necessarily dismiss them flat out, and be honest with yourself. Say to yourself, no, I think I'm doing okay on this, but I could do better with this. Or I'm doing good on this part, but ooh, this part, they're probably right. I really could pick that up. And start to understand that the feedback is more than likely coming from a place of concern, of caring, and love for you. They wouldn't have reached out if they didn't feel like this was beneficial for you. And you have to receive the feedback in that way. You cannot just dismiss it out of turn and say, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just out to get me. I guarantee you most of the time they are not out to get you. They are giving you that feedback because they care about you. And you have to take that into account as you reflect, how can I make this better? That's the important part. You want to make things better. Sometimes it's a perception shift. Sometimes it is complete behavioral changes, and those are okay as well. You have to understand what you need to do to fix the problem. So it is absolutely okay to say, I just don't feel like that's fair. Or how could they come to me and say that to me? Why didn't anyone tell me this before? Maybe they have. Maybe you weren't listening. Maybe you weren't at a place to hear what they were saying yet. And that's okay. You're at a place to hear it now. You are at a place to do something about it now. Take the feedback, feel the emotions, and that's okay. Reflect on it, and then come up with a plan of action. How are you going to fix the problem? If it's a personal concern with a friend or a loved one, once you've calmed down, once you've had time to reflect on it, revisit the conversation. Come up with your own thoughts and ideas, and then have them give you some thoughts and ideas. It is a communication, a conversation that you have together. If it is a work or professional concern, then again, reflect, do the work to come up with a plan to fix it, and then talk with the person who gave you the feedback and say, okay, here's some of the things that I've come up with that I think can help fix the situation. And they can say to you, hey, that's a great one. Hey, what if you tweaked this one? Hey, I'm not sure that one's gonna work. What about this? It's always good to have that feedback and to have someone help you build that goal setting and those behavioral changes for you. Obviously, you have to want to make those changes. It's not going to happen if you're not willing to be vulnerable, to listen, to reflect, and to take action. That is where it starts. That's what you have to do. Vulnerability, reflection, take action. That's what needs to happen in these situations. I know you can do it. I'm in the middle of doing it right now, and I tell you what, it hurt when I got the phone call, when someone said to me, hey, this isn't working like we wanted it to. And you have to say to yourself, wow, I didn't do that right. But again, how many times have I said, failure is the launching pad into success? Yes, now I can look and say, okay, what have I been doing or what haven't I been doing that I can fix and that I can move forward with changes to make things better. We are always out to improve, and that is so important for us. So how are we going to do that? Vulnerability, reflection, and action. That's how we want to proceed forward. And that's what I want from you. So again, like Don Miguel Ruiz says in the 4 Agreements, don't take it personally. Let's move forward and really embrace what we're being told. Get rid of the things that we don't think are necessary and take action on the things that are. Thank you for joining me this week. Please do click that like button. And if you know someone who will do well by hearing this message, please do share it with them, whether it's in your social media or share the link to this YouTube channel. And do click that subscribe button and that little bell so that you're notified the next time a video is released. And I will see you very soon on the next Moment with Matthew.